All right, so today we're diving into Think Like a Warrior by Darren Donnelly.
Ooh, interesting.
It's this really cool blend of sports and self-help. You know,
Okay.
he uses the world of football to teach you these broader life lessons that honestly I think anyone can relate to,
Yeah, I can see
even
that.
if you're not a sports fan.
Right.
So the main character is this football coach named Chris McNeely,
Okay.
and he is struggling big time,
Right.
like both on and off the field.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like financially ruined, about to get fired, just totally lost his passion for coaching.
Man sounds like he needs a win.
He does. He really does. But here's where it gets kind of crazy.
Okay. I'm
He
listening.
starts getting mentored by like these legendary coaches from the past.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah, it's like a who's who of coaching greats. Like imagine getting advice from the ghosts of
I mean, that's not your typical self-help book, that's for sure.
no, it's definitely not. And this is what makes it so interesting.
Yeah, like can these ghosts of coaching greatness actually help him turn his life around?
That's the big question, right?
Right.
So Chris's first encounter happens late at night in this like mysterious, almost empty gym.
Spooky.
And out of nowhere appears John Wooden,
Whoa, wait, John Wooden? Like the John Wooden?
the one and only.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know,
Yeah, fill us in.
he's considered by many to be the greatest college basketball coach of all time.
Oh wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, he led UCLA to 10 national championships.
10. That's insane.
It is. And what's really interesting is that his whole approach to success was shaped by his own upbringing.
Oh, how so?
Well, his dad faced some serious financial hardship, but he always taught John about the importance of resilience, never
Yeah.
giving up.
I see. So that's where he gets it from.
Yeah, and you can see how that connects to Chris's own money problems, right?
Definitely. A lot of parallels there.
So Wooden's main message to Chris is all about focusing on what you can control.
Like what kinds of things?
Your effort, your attitude,
Mhm.
not so much on like winning itself.
That's interesting.
Yeah, instead of obsessing over things you can't control, he's saying pour your energy into what you can influence.
That makes sense.
And you know what? I think that's so relevant, even outside of sports.
Oh, totally.
Like, think about it. Have you ever been so focused on the outcome of something that you forget to just like put in the work?
All the time. It's easy to get caught up in that.
Right. So Wooden's philosophy is a good reminder to focus on those inputs.
The process, not just the result.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so next we find Chris feeling super defeated in this smoky jazz bar.
Oh, man, rough night.
And he meets Buck O'Neill, who was a former Negro Leagues player and coach.
Wow. Okay.
But here's the twist. Buck's been dead for like 10 years.
Whoa, hold on. Dead? Like a ghost?
You got it. Another coaching ghost.
Yeah.
But even though he's a ghost,
Right.
his message is all about finding joy in your work. Yeah. Even when things are tough.
Okay. I like that.
He talks about how as a kid he worked on a celery farm.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's got to be something better than this.
I like that.
And that feeling fueled his passion to make a life in baseball.
So it's about finding what you're passionate about and going for it.
Exactly. Which makes you think, what are you passionate about?
Yeah, good question.
What steps can you take to bring more of that into your life?
I like where this is going.
Me too. So next up we have Chris at an ice skating rink.
Okay, random.
I know, right? And he meets the famously stoic Herb Brooks.
Herb Brooks, the Miracle on Ice guy.
That's the one. If you're not familiar, he coached the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team to victory against the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Wasn't that a huge upset?
Huge. And his leadership style is completely different from Chris's.
How so?
Well, Chris is more fear-based, but Brooks is all about pushing boundaries and taking risks.
Interesting.
He actually thinks playing it safe is a recipe for mediocrity. What do you think about that?
Bold statement. I mean, I can see how always playing it safe could hold you back.
Right. And Brooks really believed that failure is just part of the process.
Part of growth.
Exactly. He's like, the only true failure is giving up on your dreams altogether.
Makes you think.
It does. Like, what dreams are you playing it safe on? And what would it look like to really go all in? Embrace the possibility of failure and chase after those big goals.
No, that's a challenge.
It is. It's a challenge to all of us.
Absolutely. It really is. It's like a call to action to like stop letting fear hold us back, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of not holding back, our next coach is known for his intensity.
Oh, boy.
Chris finds himself on this scorching hot practice field, and there's Bear Bryant standing alone smoking a cigarette.
Intense much.
Right? Bear Bryant is like a legend in college football,
Oh, yeah, I've heard the name.
famous for being tough as nails.
Yeah.
The book tells this crazy story about the Junction Boys.
What's that?
So Bryant put his Texas A&M players through this brutal training camp and a ton of them quit.
Oh, wow.
It was rough. But it shows how much he believed in mental toughness.
Right.
Like, he didn't see perseverance as this talent you're born with. It was a choice we all have.
Okay, I see.
Bryant really pushes back on Chris's tendency to just give up.
Made sense.
He sees quitting as like a slippery slope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Like, once you start, it's easy to keep doing it,
Definitely.
and then you end up with all this unfulfilled potential.
Interesting. So what do you think? Do you agree with that?
I do. I think quitting can become a habit, for sure.
Yeah.
Bryant's message is all about digging deep, finding that inner strength, and not letting setbacks define you.
Powerful stuff.
It is.
Ah.
Okay, so for Chris's final encounter, he's at a championship victory party.
Okay.
And get this, it's being held in Vince Lombardi's basement.
Wait a minute. Lombardi's basement? Like the Vince Lombardi?
Yep, the man himself.
Yeah.
And it's not just Lombardi, it's like all these coaching legends are there.
Wow, what a crew.
Right. But what's surprising is that Lombardi's message isn't just about winning at all costs.
Really? That's not what I expected.
I know, right? You'd think the guy known for winning would be all about winning.
Exactly.
But he actually says that whole winning is the only thing. Idea's a myth.
Huh. Interesting.
He's more about the effort, the commitment to excellence,
Okay.
and choosing faith over fear in every decision you make.
Faith over fear. I like that.
Me too. He believed that every choice we make comes from either faith or fear. And success follows faith.
So it's about believing in yourself, trusting your abilities.
Exactly. Not letting fear hold you back.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
So how do we actually build that kind of confidence in ourselves?
Well, Lombardi had some ideas.
Like what?
He said, focus on your past achievements, Visualize success. Surround yourself with positive people.
So it's about shifting your mindset.
Yeah, from doubt to belief, from fear to courage.
Love it. Okay, so we've seen Chris go through these amazing encounters, learning from each coach.
It's quite a journey.
It is. It's like a blueprint for a fulfilling life, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And the cool thing is the book doesn't just tell us about these principles, it shows us Chris putting them into practice.
Right. He actually uses these lessons in his own coaching and his life.
Exactly. And we see how it changes him.
He even makes this booklet called Think Like a Warrior
Oh, really?
to share these beliefs with his team.
Cool. So he's passing it on.
He is.
Yeah.
And he emphasizes that these ideas aren't just for football.
Right? They apply to everything.
Exactly. They can impact every part of your life.
It's about creating a culture of excellence.
So does Chris actually use these lessons? Does his team buy into it?
Well, you'll have to read the book to get the full story.
Okay, fair enough.
But let's just say the transformation is pretty amazing.
So he actually changes.
He does. He starts to see his coaching and his life in a whole new way.
And what about his team? Do they get better?
They do. They start playing with this passion and determination.
That's great.
And they start exceeding everyone's expectations. Really? Like how?
Well, the real test comes when they face their arch rivals, the Wisconsin Badgers.
Oh, man, the Badgers. Those guys are tough.
They are. And get this, Chris's team hasn't beaten them in almost 30 years.
Oh, wow. Talk about an uphill battle.
It is. This game becomes a defining moment for Chris and his team.
Right. Because remember, he was ready to quit before the season even started.
He was full of self-doubt, convinced they
Right.
had no chance. But now he's learned all these lessons.
And he's able to shift his mindset.
Yeah, he remembers what Herb Brooks said about embracing challenges.
Not letting fear hold him back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he inspires his team to believe in themselves.
So what happens? Do they win?
It's a close game, a real nail-biter.
I bet.
But in the end, they pull off a historic upset.
No way. They beat the Badgers.
They do.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's a testament to the power of belief,
Choosing faith over fear.
Exactly. And proving to yourself that you can achieve anything.
It's not just about winning the game. It's about so much more than that.
Absolutely. So what about Chris's contract situation?
Oh, yeah. The one where he thought he was getting fired?
Yeah. What happens with that?
Well, that whole thing is really interesting.
So,
It shows all the pressure and politics in college athletics.
I bet.
And Chris gets caught up in all the drama, starts doubting himself again.
Oh, no.
He even thinks about quitting coaching altogether.
It's like even when you learn these lessons, it's still hard to always apply them.
It is. Life throws you curveballs.
It does. But thankfully, Chris has these new beliefs to guide him.
Right.
He remembers to focus on what he can control
Choose faith over fear.
and stay true to his passion for the game.
So he finds his way back.
He does. And things start to change again.
Like how?
His team has an amazing season.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they win the MSC championship.
That's huge.
And they go to the Boca Raton Bowl.
No way, a bowl game. That's a Cinderella story.
It is. And get this, they win the bowl game too.
Are you serious? This is like a movie.
This is a pretty incredible ending.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway for you?
I think it's realizing that these think like a warrior ideas aren't just for athletes or coaches.
Right.
They're for anyone who wants to live a better life.
It's about recognizing that we have more power than we think.
We can choose our mindset. We can overcome challenges.
By embracing these principles.
Exactly.
It really makes you think, right? Like, what if these coaches weren't just in Chris's head?
Yeah, what if their wisdom is out there for all of us?
Exactly. That's a pretty cool thought.
It is, but how do we tap into that kind of guidance, you know?
That's the big question. The book challenges us to find those mentors, those sources of inspiration.
Right. And they don't have to be like famous coaches.
No, they can come from anywhere.
A favorite author, a teacher, even a historical figure.
You know, it's funny you say that because in a way, I think this podcast is kind of like a mentorship.
I see what you mean.
We're exploring these ideas, sharing what we've learned.
Hopefully giving our listeners some food for thought.
Exactly. And the important thing is that we're actively looking for guidance, you know?
Right. Engaging with ideas that challenge us.
And then actually putting those lessons into practice.
Even when it's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Think Like a Warrior, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we have so much more control over our lives than we realize.
We do. We can choose how we think, how we react to things.
We can choose to focus on what we can control.
Approach challenges with a positive attitude.
And never give up on our dreams.
It's like the book is saying we all have that inner warrior inside of us.
And we don't have to wait for some magical moment to unleash it.
It's there, right now.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, go out there and think like a warrior.
Love it.
And if you ever start to doubt yourself, remember those 5 core beliefs. Focus on what you can control. Find joy in what you do. Dream big. Be relentless. And choose faith over fear.
Those are words to live by.
They are. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking that wisdom.